I think the best advice was from Howard Schultz, who CEO of Starbucks, who said, "Hey, always make your business about the customer. Always put the customer first." And I think that because of that advice, I've been always customer focused, and customer focused. And the worst advice, I don't know. A lot of times what happens when you get advice, you play it and put it in to your own game plan and see if it works. And if it don't, then you just, throw it out. So I listen to a little bit of everybody, and then I see if it works within my brand and within my company. And once I figure that out, then I either keep it in my strategy, or I just, again, throw it out.
Let's go back to Starbucks for just a second. So you had a lot to do with getting Howard and Starbucks into the city, right?
Yes.
How did you manage to do that? How did you convince him that that was a good idea? And tell us that story of how you kind of tailor-made Starbucks for the city area.
Well, I think that what happened was, when you think about the spending power of minorities, first you got over $1 trillion spending power from African Americans, another over $1 trillion spending power from Latinos. And so I said, look, you're missing a spending power and this diversity of people who want and love Starbucks, but they have to travel 30, 40 minutes outside of their community. And so I told Howard, I said, we can make a lot of money and make a customer base happy by putting it right in their own community. And right now, the growth of your business have to be through minorities. And so he looked at it and took it to his board, and they said, okayed it, and we built 125 Starbucks. Now he's built thousands in urban America. Then we had to tweak it just a little bit because we, eat different desserts than everybody else. And
maybe you don't have scones and
exactly,
right?
In urban America. And so
what'd you put in there instead of scones?
Sweet potato pie, pound cake, things that resonate with the urban customer base.
Yeah.
And it was a huge hit. And then we changed the music and put soft R&B in my Starbucks. And so it made it feel like home. So it was a home and away from home experience. And one thing great about Howard, he wanted to make it a local coffee house, Starbucks.
So back to that worst advice. A lot of us, when we're doing whatever business venture we've got, we don't know how long to give this great idea until we cut bait.
You have to decide, first of all, how long you can actually stay in if it's not turning a profit. If it's not cash flowing, you have to say, okay, I can only stay in this long, and you have to know when to exit. But also too, you may see it turning, and maybe you say, okay, in 2 more years, this thing will be turning a profit, and then I'll be okay. So it's up to the individual more than somebody giving you some advice. I know for me, I always invest where there's already demand. I don't try to create demand, right? And then there was no competition. So when I looked at urban America and the landscape, I knew there was no competition, there was high demand, and then there was spending power.
What do you think gets people stuck? Whether it's I'm stuck in a job that I hate, or I'm stuck in a bad relationship, or I'm stuck in a bad deal. Sometimes it's emotional, sometimes it's physical, and even maybe bringing some of your athletic experience to this.
Sometimes people know what that is, right? So, well, it may be bad, but they're thinking that's the unknown out there, right? And so they get stuck in, like you said, a bad relationship, or they don't have confidence in themselves.
Yeah.
And a lot of times that's what happens. Or in business, confidence in your business plan or your business strategy, or somebody told you, oh, that's bad, or you can't make it. Now, if I would have listened to everybody that told me I couldn't go from the basketball court to the boardroom, I would still be probably just in basketball and not doing anything in business. And because a lot of people tried to shoot my dreams down, but I believed in myself and my business strategy.
Did any of that maybe, some people call it, I'm a realist, or some, you might look at it as negative feedback, whatever. Did any of that come from your inner circle, like your family or your friends, or was it all from the outside, like Wall Street telling you, you're an athlete, you know, stick to sports, that kind of thing? You're the sports guy, you're the basketball guy.
Yeah. It was both.
Yeah?
It was both. So some friends thought, no way you can make it, no way you're gonna be a businessman. And then Wall Street definitely never thought I could make it, you know, in business. But again, you know, I love when people say I can't do something. So that made me go out and research harder and longer, make sure I had all the right numbers, make sure my business plan was really tight. And so once I got everything together, then I was able to go out and execute. And you must be able to execute. And so, you know, you can't get caught up in what everybody else thinks. You have to understand, hey, I've been through it, I ran the numbers, I see what my competition is doing, I see what, you know, I have to do in terms of to make it. I know my break-even point, I know my profit point, and just also hire people who are smarter than yourself, right? That can help you really go out and execute your game plan.
Let's talk about impact a little bit. What do you do if you're not born Magic Johnson with natural gifts, physical and emotional? Let's face it. I mean, I think just watching you through the years, outsider looking in, a lot of that was, you know, emotional. It was intelligence, and that's how you won games. That's how you got things done. Of course, you had the physical abilities, but what do you say to the guy or the girl who's not born with those obvious physical abilities about making an impact? You know, I can practice shooting, you know, all day long. I'm never going to be Magic Johnson. What do I do?
But you're going to be yourself, because I don't have some of their gifts. You see, so you're blessed with gifts, and you have to figure out what they are.
And I guess my question about impact is, how do you go about finding what those gifts are? That
Well, I think that you should, first of all, reach deep inside yourself. What are you passionate about, right? And everybody knows what they're passionate about and what they love. And then go out and say, okay, this is what I want to get involved with. Do your research, because again, you have to feel comfortable with what the end results are going to be, right? And for me, I knew I wanted to give back, so I created the Magic Johnson Foundation. And what I said, okay, what am I passionate about? Education. So I gave out scholarships, and still doing that today. I wanted to make sure I impacted the minority community in the health space, because we die earlier than everybody else because we don't go to the doctor, we don't go to the dentist. So I wanted to get into that space as well and try to help minorities understand how important it is to go get their physicals. On and on and on. So those are things that I'm passionate about. So I got into those things. Now, every individual, I don't care who you are, you know you love pets or dogs or cats or you know, love taking care of people. Then get into those fields, because that's what's going to wake you up in the morning and take you to those places, right? Because if you get into something you don't really have passion or love for, you're not going to give 150%, and you're not going to make an impact or a difference in other people's lives.